The kingdom under the sea, far beneath the ocean's surface, where the water was as blue as sapphires and as clear as glass, lay the kingdom of the Sea King. The depths were so vast that no anchor could reach the bottom, and if one stacked 100 church steeples, they would not pierce the surface from the seabed. Here, coral towers spiraled toward the currents, their windows crafted from golden amber that glowed in the shifting light. The castle's roof was made of mother-of-pearl shells, each opening and closing with the tide, revealing pearls as luminous as stars. The Sea King, a widower, ruled with his aged mother, a proud woman who wore 12 oysters on her tail, a mark of her royal status. The Sea King had 6 daughters, each more beautiful than the last, but the youngest was the fairest of all. Her skin was as pale as rose petals, her eyes as deep and blue as the ocean's abyss. Yet, like all merfolk, she had no legs, only a shimmering fish's tail. The little mermaid was quiet and dreamy, unlike her sisters, who delighted in treasures from sunken ships. She adored only 2 things: a garden of scarlet flowers shaped like the sun, and a marble statue of a handsome human boy, salvaged from a wreck. At night, she would gaze upward, watching the moonlight ripple through the waves, dreaming of the world above, the longing for the surface. On their 15th birthdays, the mermaid princesses were permitted to rise to the surface. The eldest returned first, breathless with tales of glowing cities and ships with billowing sails. The second sister spoke of sunsets that painted the sky in gold and violet. The third swam up a river, marveling at forests and human children playing. The fourth saw whales and icebergs, while the fifth witnessed winter's glittering frost. Each story made the youngest mermaid's heart ache. She waited 5 long years, listening at her grandmother's knee to tales of the land, of fragrant flowers, singing birds, and most precious of all, immortal human souls. Without a soul, her grandmother said, we become mere foam when we die, but humans live on forever. The little mermaid wept saltless tears. I would give 300 years of my life for just 1 day as a human, if I could gain an immortal soul. The Prince and the Storm. At last, her 15th birthday arrived. She rose through the waves as the sun set, its dying light setting the clouds aflame. Before her floated a grand ship, its decks alive with music and laughter. Peering through a cabin window, she saw a handsome prince with dark, laughing eyes. It was his 16th birthday, and fireworks burst overhead, scattering light like fallen stars. But as night deepened, the sea grew restless. A storm tore the ship apart. The mermaid watched in horror as the prince was thrown into the waves. She dove after him, fighting the currents, and dragged him to shore. A temple stood nearby, and as dawn broke, a young girl found the unconscious prince. The mermaid, hidden among the rocks, watched as he woke, never knowing she had saved him. The witch's bargain. Desperate to be with him, the little mermaid sought the sea witch. I know what you want, the witch cackled, stroking a slimy water snake. Legs, a soul, a prince's love, but magic demands payment. She offered a potion that would split the mermaid's tail into legs, but every step would feel like walking on knives. Worse, if the prince married another, her heart would break, and she would dissolve into sea foam. And your voice, the witch hissed. That sweet voice must be mine. With a trembling nod, the mermaid agreed. The witch sliced out her tongue, and the potion burned like fire as she drank. The pain of love washed ashore at dawn. The mermaid woke to find the prince staring at her. Though mute, her eyes enchanted him. He took her to his palace, where she danced despite the agony in her feet, her movements lighter than air. Yet the prince, though fond of her, loved another, the temple girl he believed had saved him. When his father commanded him to marry a neighboring princess, the prince resisted, until he saw her. It was the temple girl. On the wedding ship, the mermaid's heart shattered. At midnight, her sisters surfaced, their hair shorn as payment to the witch. Kill him, they begged, pressing a dagger into her hand. Stab his heart, and you'll be a mermaid again. But as the prince slept beside his bride, the mermaid kissed his forehead, and threw herself into the sea. The daughters of the air. Instead of dissolving into foam, she awoke as a spirit of the air. "You have a chance now," whispered a voice. "Do good for 300 years, and you shall earn a soul." As the sun rose, the mermaid saw the prince searching the waves for her. Unseen, she kissed his cheek and soared upward toward the dawn.